What is up, everyone? So we're going to show you something today that you would think could be very simple and very easy and not a lot to it. We're going to show you how to replace worn or damaged heat shrink tubing on the back of a tailbait. I don't care if it's this water chopper here, which happens to be one of my favorite ones here. It's definitely been in a couple musky mouths.
Oh my gosh, I got her. That's a big one. I got her. Oh my gosh. That's a whale.
Could be a top rater, could be whatever. At any rate, this is how we do it. So first you're going to want to take a needle nose pliers like so, and you're just going to use the flat surface to grind away at that heat shrink tubing and actually cut it even further like so. Alright, so now we've got that broken away, and I'll actually take it like that and try to just twist it like you're opening an old can of sardines like that. So there, we've got it almost off, but we have to go all the way. And this particular heat shrink tubing that I recommend using, is actually got epoxy inside of it, which melts it and makes it a lot stronger, and will last a lot longer than regular electrical heat shrink tubing. You can get that at pretty much most hardware stores or whatever, but it's epoxy lined heat shrink tubing. There we go, perfect. Just like that. Got our split ring. Our hook's still in good shape, so we will leave that. But we're just going to take our split ring pliers. I use a Xuron split ring plier. That's definitely the best out there. Get this hook off like so. Okay. Then we're going to take about 1.5 inch, 1.25 piece of heat shrink tubing like so. And we're going to place it on our hook just like that. Make sure you got enough room at the end that you can get the split ring through. Split ring is still on the bait. Like that. Just like that. Then we're going to slide our heat shrink up onto the split ring. It's being a little difficult here. Okay. So, let's stop right here. And this really depends on what tailbait you're using, whether it's this chopper. You cannot have the heat shrink go up over that bead right there. That bead needs to be able to rotate freely like so. Let's say, for instance, that you have a Booker top rater. That heat shrink tubing actually goes up into the plastic tail section of the bait. And if that heat shrink tubing does not get shrunk all the way on this end, on the top rater, this heat shrink will actually rub the inside of the wall of that bait, and the tail will not spin freely. So, it just really depends on what brand of tailbait you're using. But for mine in particular, the chopper, right to that bead is where you want it, just like that. Okay, so you're not done there. You need to think about your hook. Okay, so when you look at a treble hook, we'll look at this one for an example. It's actually 2 pieces of wire. This is 1 piece of wire that creates the eyelet that goes on to the other side. So that's 1 piece of wire, okay? And then you've got this other separate piece of wire right there that's obviously soldered to that. I can't overemphasize this enough. You need to have 2 hooks down and the single hook up, just like so. And the reason for that, it's a balance point. And we'll go back to our tail section here. So I just happen to know that which one, well, let's see here. You need to pay attention when you're actually pulling the heat shrink tubing up over which one is which. I know it's this one right here. So what I'm going to do here is check the angle of this hook here, where I have 2 down, 1 up, and keep that even with the eyeballs. Okay, so I got it facing towards me. Make sure it's 2 down, 1 up, and I'll spin it around the other way so you can kind of see down the length of the bait like that. That is so crucial. That's the balance point. You want all that weight on the bottom, and then obviously one single hook up top is lighter. So that'll keep your bait from flipping over and rotating. That's definitely the most important part of this, the balancing act of a topwater bait. So next we're going to take our lighter, just like so. Rotate it 180, 90, 180. Got all 4 sides of that. And then just make sure, double check, that it's perfectly in line with the eyes. And there we go. You have successfully replaced the rear hook on your tail bait. You're all dialed. You're ready to go fishing again. It's something you can do right on the water. I usually got a couple other baits handy. You can just change baits or whatever. But what will happen if this is compromised and you keep throwing it, it's going to throw the bait off balance. And if you notice your bait is rolling, that's probably one of the reasons is your heat shrink tubing has been compromised at the back. Make sure that your wire shaft is straight top to bottom, and you're ready to get back fishing again. That's it for now. We'll see you on the next vid.